Hello, this will be continuing SAT practice exercise, and we are going to do linear equations in one variable, and we're going to do some easy problems. So this is another example of easy problems, or easy set of two. Okay, so let's begin. So yeah, question one says Carlos begins 9 feet north of the tree. Every step he takes, he travels 1.5 feet. After taking a certain number of steps in a straight line, he is now 159 feet north of the tree. How many steps does Carlos take? So this is definitely a linear equation. So all you need to know in a linear equation, it's usually in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay. So when you're doing these SAT problems and you're dealing with linear equations, they're either going to ask you a few things. They're either going to ask you an input, which is your x value, right? Or they want to know the output or just the y value, okay? So that's what they want really. So first we got to find the equation y equals mx plus b. Um, what do you think? Carlos begins at 9 feet and every step he takes, he travels 1.5 feet. So I think the 1.5 is the slope because it's like the unknown value. And I believe that 9 is the b because it's your starting point, the given point, right? So it's going to be y equals 1.5x plus 9. Okay. Now we got to label correctly our x and our y. So what is our x? Our x is the amount of steps, right? So that's what next thing I'll do. Label my variables. So x is the amount of steps. Okay. Y would be the distance in feet. That is kind of hard. But if you need a refresher on linear functions, I do have a video of all the things you need to know about linear functions. Okay. So if you need a refresher, go ahead and watch those videos. So, okay, so here equation is y equals 1.5x plus 9, and our x is the amount of steps, and y is the distance in feet. So what else do they give us? They tell us that he's now 159 feet north of the tree. So 159, is that an x or a y? That is a y value. So what that means is we need to figure out our x value, right? They're asking you how many steps. So we got to find the amount of steps, right? X is the amount of steps. Okay, so if we got to here, all we got to do is replace our y with 159 equals to 1.5x plus 9, and then go ahead and solve for x. Simple algebra, right? So you would subtract 9 from both sides. 159 minus 9 is 150 equals to 1.5x. And then solve for x by dividing both sides by 1.5. So x is 100. Okay, so your final answer is B. So yeah, when you're doing linear equation word problems in the SAT, um, figure out the equation, figure out, label your variables, and figure out what do they want. Do they want the input, the x value, or do they want the output? That's pretty much it. Okay, so it's 100. Okay, let's do question two. What is the value of x? What is the value of x as the solution to the given equation? So question two, I could, I, yeah. I could get rid of this -2 first by dividing -2. That won't be a problem, right? If you want to get rid of that -2, go ahead, divide everything by -2. So what happens, this cancels, and then you're left with 6x plus 10 equals, and then 4 divided by -2 is -2 times -5x plus 2. Okay. Now on the right side, you just got to FOIL out this -2. So what's -2 times -5x? Positive 10x. What's -2 times +2 is -4. And then you have 6x plus 10. Okay, go ahead and solve for, okay, but before you move things around, always check if you can combine like terms. So 6x plus 10, no. Variable and a constant don't mix. Right side, variable and a constant does not mix. So go ahead and move things around. So let's get the x on one side. So I'm going to subtract 10x, subtract 10x. So what's 6x minus 10x? 6, 7, 8, 9, -4x, right? 6x minus 10x is 7, 8, 9, 10, -4x. And then move the constant to the right by subtracting 10 from both sides. So you get -4x equals to -10 and -4 is -14. And then divide this by -4. And you get, what's -14 over 4? Um, Positive 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And then carry the 1. Since it's dealing with decimals, you're going to put a little dot here and then bring down the 0. How many times does 4 go into 10? Did I do this right? Did I miss something? 10 minus 4. Yeah, it doesn't look right. Well, it looks like it's going to be, wait, 4 minus 12. Oh, duh, I am doing it. What is wrong with me? I am doing it right. What's 14 minus 12? 2. Bring down the 0. There we go. And then we're dealing with decimals, so you're going to put a decimal here. And then how many times does 4 go? 25. So your correct answer is 3.5. Okay, let's move on to question 3. So in question 3, we have 2/3 x minus 4/9 equals 16 over 18. What is the value of x in the given solution? Um, you gotta solve for x. So you could test each value, right? And then if the left side equals to the right, that works. But let's just do this. Um, let's just do this scratch. So 2/3 x. Well, first what I do is get rid of the denominator by multiplying all sides by the LCD. But first, what I'll do is maybe if this 2/3 x confuses you, did you know you could put the x in the numerator? So this is the same thing as 2x over 3. And then what you could do is check if you can reduce. I know 2/3 can't be reduced, and I know 4/9 cannot be reduced, but 16 over 18, that looks like it could be reduced by 2. So go ahead and reduce that. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Yeah, 16 divided by 2 is definitely 8. And then 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, this is going to be a lot easier to find LCD. So what is my LCD? So you got to look at the bottom. So you have a 3, a 9, and a 9. make sure and it's in the most primest form. So 3 is prime. 9 could be broken down as 3 and 3, which is the same thing as 3 square. The same thing with 9. This 9, it could be broken down as 3 times 3, which is the same thing as 3 square. So what you do is you look at the base in the most primest form, which we did. So this has a base of 3, this has a base of 3, this has a base of 3. They all are a base of 3. So when you have a repeating base, you pick the one with the highest power. So you're going to do 3 square because this is the highest power, right? Right. So I'm going to multiply 3 squares the same thing as 9. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 9. So I'm going to put this little bracket and multiply everything by 9. So if you need help how to find the LCD or if you need a refresher, go ahead and scroll down and then there should be a video about how to find the LCD in fraction form. Okay, so what is 9 times 2x over 3? So how I do this is you can either multiply 9 by 2x, which is 18, and then divide it by 3, which is 6x. Or you could do is do 9 divided by 3, which is 3, times it by the numerator, which is 6x, right? And then over here, same thing here. What's 9 times negative 4 ninths? Well, the nines are the same, so you're just left, that cancels, so you're left with negative 4. And then what is 9 times 8 ninths? Well, the same thing here. The nines are the same, so you're just left with 8. Okay, so now we got rid of the fraction, which is a lot easier to find now. So solve for x. So all you got to do is add 4 to both sides, and you get 6x equals to 8 plus 4 is 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, divide this by 6. X is 12 divided by 6 is 2. So my final answer is 2. Okay, so that is question 3. Let's do question 4. What is the value of x? So they want you to solve for x. Now, unfortunately, we don't want to get rid of this 4 by dividing both sides by 4. Why not? Because if you divide both sides by 4, so over here, comes out nicely. But over here, you have a fraction, which is not something you want, right? So the best option for this one is just FOIL out this, on the left side, just FOIL out that 4. So what's 4 times 2x? 8x. Plus, what's 4 times 3? 12. And then bring down this negative, this invisible negative 1. So negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. And then you go ahead and solve for x. So we're doing two steps equation. So before we move things around, always check if you can collect like terms. So on the left side, can you collect like terms? No. We have variable and a constant, don't mix. On the right side, can we collect like terms? No. We have variable and a constant. So now you want to do is move things around. So it doesn't matter what you do first. You can move it, you can get all the letters on one side first and then get all the constant. It doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is get all the x's on one side. So I'm going to add x to both sides. And then what's 8x plus 1x? 9x plus 12. And then solve for x. So you're going to subtract 12. Subtract 12. And you get 9x equals 3 minus 12, which is negative 9. Okay, go ahead and solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9, divide both sides by 9, and you get x equals negative 1. Okay, not too bad. Okay. By the way, I know these are correct because I've done this and I checked the answer, so that's how I know they're correct. Question 5. If the value of 6r plus 15 equals to 12, what is the value of 2r plus 5? So if the value of 6r plus 5, I mean 15 equals to 12, they want to know what is 2r plus 5 is going to equal to. So what I would do is I would not solve for r. Yeah, I would not solve for r. What I would do is I really want this left side. Can I make the 6r plus 15 equal to 2r plus 5? I think so. I think we could divide everything by 3. So I'm going to divide everything by 3, including the 12. So what's 6r divided by 6r divided by r? I mean 6r divided by 3, that's 2r plus what's 15 divided by 3? That is 5 equals what is 12 divided by 3? 4. Okay, we are good. We do not have, as you can see, we have our answer. 2r plus 5 is exactly equal to 4. You don't need to solve for r if you don't have to. You don't have to do more work than you have to. So my answer is 4. Yeah, and especially in the SAT when you have very limited time. Okay, so this is answer. Okay, I'm gonna look for here. There's another part of this. So there is, so there's a last part for a linear equation in one variable for easy ones. Okay, so let me find it. Okay, keyboard. Oops. Okay, so yeah, let's go find more problems. Okay, this one. So linear equation in one variable, easy ones, number 3. So I'll just do this one. Oh, I'm using, for this one, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm using Test Innovators, SAT Prep. I don't know if you ever heard of that program, but I think it's really good. Okay, let's move on to question 1. Okay, re question 1 says, this is supposed to be technically easy. Let's see how easy this is. Rika has 45 cards. Each pack of trading cards she buys contains 9 cards. Which equation can be used to find the number of packs Rika must purchase to have a total of 180 cards, where X represents the number of packs? Let's see here. So I know this is a linear equation because it says so, but you kind of know it is. So when we're dealing with linear equation, we're dealing with y equals mx plus b. Okay. And then we got to figure out what is our x and what is our y. So, what do you think our x is going to be? Yes, x is going to be, so if I have to read the problem, that's fine. Rika has 45 cards, 45 trading cards. Each pack of trading cards she buys contains 9 cards. Which equation can be used to find the pack, number of packs Rika's must purchase to have a total of 180 cards, where x represents the number of packs? So X is going to be the number of packs, and then Y is going to be the total, the number total of 180 cards. Okay. So if we have y equals mx plus b, what do you think our y is the number, a total of cards? So how much total cards we have? It said we're given 180. And then Rika had a total of 45 trading cards, so that's like given, so that believe that's our B. And then what would be our M? Each pack of trading cards she buys contains 9 cards. So our M is 9 because it's this is how I know my M is 9 because M is the slope, which is really the uncontrolled value, right? It's not, it's the values that we really, really don't know. Okay, so now we got our equation. Now all we got to do is, oh, that's it. So which of these is these ones? So they're not asking you to solve for x, right? They just want the equation. So that would be 180 plus 9x. Let's see. This one. 180 equals 9x plus 45. Okay. That one wasn't too bad. Question two says, which equation has the same solution as the given equation? So if you look at all our choices, they got this 6x alone. So that's what we should do. We should get the 6x alone. So all I got to do is get rid of that -4 by adding 4 to both sides. So I get 6x equals to 26 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 30. So that would be D. If 38,000 equals 1,000 times 3x plus 8, what is the value of x? So yeah, all you got to do is solve for x. Do not follow that 1000x. I know it's tempting, but you don't have to. Instead, you can just get rid of it by dividing both sides by 1000, right? That won't give us any problem because on the right side, this cancels. So you're left with 3x plus 8. And then on the left side, the zeros cancel. So you're just left with 38. Okay, go ahead and solve for x. So you're going to subtract 8 from both sides. So 38 minus 8 is 30 equals to 3x. And then divide this by 3. And you get 10. Okay, that wasn't too bad because these are easy ones. Okay, question 4. Okay, so this one's a little bit strange. We have 4cx, or 4 times c times x, 4cx minus 4 equals to x minus 4. In the given equation, c is a constant. If the equation has infinitely many solutions, what is the value of c? So what does it mean when you have infinitely many solutions? So infinitely, okay, so pretend these are two linear lines, right? When two linear lines have infinitely many solutions, they're pretty much exactly the same equation, right? Uh, Here's a linear line, let's call this line one, and then line two over infinitely many means they're the same equation. That means they overlap, so that means they have a solution here, there, here, infinitely many, right? So what we have to do is, yeah, they want to know what is C. So what is CX? So what this means is we're going to set this equals to this because they're the same, right? -4 is equal to -4. So why not 4cx equals to x? And as you can see, what you could just try to do this on your head. What C value gives you X? That would be 1/4, right? If you replace C with 1/4, does that give you the right side X? Right? It does. 4 times 1/4 is 1, and then you still have this X, so 1 times X. So what's 1 times X? X equals X, which is true. So it is D. Okay, let's move on to question 5. Okay, Vidal rides his bicycle at a constant speed of 0.3 miles per minute. At this rate, how many miles will he travel in 45 minutes? So I know this is a linear equation because it said so, but you know any linear equation is a form of y equals mx plus b, but more specifically in this word problem, we're dealing with speed, distance, and rate. So that is a special linear equation. It's called distance equals rate times time, right? So we're going to use this equation, which is exactly a linear equation. So let's fill in what we have and what we need to know. So what are they asking? The last part of the question says, how many miles will he travel in 45 minutes? So miles means distance. So we got to solve for distance, right? And then what I'm going to do is fill in what we have. So he says he has a constant speed of 0.3 miles per minute. So that means my rate is 0.13 miles per minute, right? And then what else do they tell us? How many miles will he travel in 45 minutes? We also have a time in 45 minutes. Okay. Oh, this will come out nicely. So it's going to be, so we got to solve for D, which is already isolated. So that's good. Sometimes you got to isolate the variable, but ours is already isolated. So distance equals rate times time. So my rate is 0.13 miles per minute. And you'll see why I put the units times it by the rate time, which is 45 minutes. Okay. As you can see, the minutes cancels, and then you're left with the miles. So, and that's how you know you're doing it right because it says how many miles, um, your units is miles. So what zero, all you got to do is multiply 0.3 by 45. If you don't have a calculator, it's really simple. 0.13 times by 45. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 1, that's 6. 0, placeholder. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1, that's 5. Is 5. 6 plus 2 is 8. And then you have 5. Carry how many decimal places? 1, 2, 1, 2. So we have 5.85. My final answer is 5.85 miles. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Is there Okay, so I'm going to stop here and then we're going to continue off with linear equations, but this time we'll do harder examples. Okay, I'm going to stop here.